The Justice Department has given its assurance that there will be no abuse in the implementation of the anti-terror law. This is after the Supreme Court upheld the controversial statute except for two portions. The Joint Task Force SALU says recruitment efforts happening in the province is meant for a project seeking to strengthen border control. This comes on the back of a report by the South China Morning Post that SALU mayors are hatching a plan to invade the Malaysian state of Sabah. And the IATF has approved a 500 slot increase in the annual deployment cap for healthcare workers. Focused and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. The Interior Department welcomes the Supreme Court's decision on the anti-terror law. Secretary Eduardo Año told Radyo 5 that the parts deemed unconstitutional were very minimal. He added that as a whole, the controversial law will still benefit the public. The High Court voided only two parts in the anti-terror law earlier this week. The terrorism qualifier in Section 4 and the second method of designation in Section 25 were both struck down as unconstitutional.
Maliit lang itong dalawang provision na to compared sa entirety ng buong Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020. So ibig sabihin, panalo pa rin yung sambayan ng Pilipino dito kasi magkakagawa pa rin tayo ng maraming action against terrorists.
And the Justice Department assures the public that the anti-terror law will be properly implemented. In today's Laging Handa briefing, Undersecretary Adrian Sugay said that safeguards against abuses are in place. For one, he said that the Anti-Terrorism Council will be held liable should there be a wrong designation or arrest.
Hindi naman dapat mangamba yung mga, lalo na yung ating mga kababayan na wala namang kinalaman sa mga acts of terrorism. Ang gobyerno, lalo na yung ating mga law enforcement agencies, will ensure na tama ang pagka-implementa sa batas na ito.
Sugay also welcomed the plan of petitioners to file a motion for reconsideration before the Supreme Court.
Lahat naman yan nasa karapatan nila, pwede nilang gawin yan. Kung talagang tingin nila sila ay maagrabyado rito, nasa sa kanila naman yon, karapatan nilang questionin pa ito by way of a motion for reconsideration.
And the Joint Task Force SALU clarified that the recruitment of military reservists happening in the province is only meant for border control. This is after Hong Kong-based newspaper South China Morning Post reported that 19 SALU mayors met on December 1 to discuss plans to invade the Malaysian state of Sabah. In a statement, the task force confirmed that there was a meeting between mayors to recruit fishermen and seafarer volunteers, but this is to develop the Bantay Dagat project. The Bantay Dagat project aims to strengthen the province's maritime borders against terrorism and to augment its disaster response team. The Joint Task Force noted that some 800 men and women are currently part of the military reserve list, with hundreds more in training. We'll be back with more stories after this short break. Keep it here on One News. still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Heads up to all consumers, Meralco has announced higher power rates for this month. The power distributor said the overall rate for a typical household went up by 31 centavos per kilowatt hour due to higher generation costs. What this means is that households consuming 200 kilowatts per hour will see an increase of around 63 pesos in their electric bills. This is the 9th straight month that Meralco increased its household power rates. And the Omicron COVID variant is found to be 4 times more transmissible in early stages than Delta, according to one Japanese study. Bloomberg's Sam Fazeli tells us more.
Given what we know about Omicron so far, is it necessary that we return to that environment where we're all working from home?
Yeah, hi, good morning. Frankly, whether the data from Japan is exactly right or not, but the anecdotal information that we have with the pace with which this variant is spreading suggests that it's highly infectious. And part of that's likely to be the fact that it completely ignores the fact whether you are vaccinated or previously had an infection and can still infect you. So there's only one solution to stopping that, and that's by keeping people apart a bit more than you were doing before. Work from home is one way of doing that.
Sam, it seems that the science here isn't answering really our questions about the efficacy of vaccines. Yesterday, I saw a line saying that the loss of immune protection is robust, but not complete. That's not really telling me a heck of a lot. And today, the WHO is saying there's no conclusive evidence that vaccines are not effective with Omicron. Well, you could say that about literally anything.
Yeah, Matt, people have to choose their phrases really carefully. If you're talking about the risk of severe disease and hospitalization, it is very likely, given what the data suggests, and remember, these are all lab data, they're not people data, that being vaccinated and even possibly previously infected, you do have a reasonable protection against severe disease, rather than a cold or symptoms at home. But if we're talking about cases and people just catching the infection, I think the data is suggesting that that's likely going to be pretty low when it comes to Omicron.
And just a couple weeks before Christmas, the SM Mall of Asia has opened a new Christmas attraction, which visitors can enjoy from the safety of their own vehicles. Laila Pangilinan shows us the attraction.
This parking lot in SM Mall of Asia in Pasay was turned into a Christmas drive-thru installation called Night of Lights. The area, which claims to be the biggest Christmas drive-thru in the country, is complete with lights and music to suit the holiday vibe.
This is a first Christmas drive-thru experience in a mall that has been developed now. This came as an offshoot of us thinking, how do we give the public a Christmas experience similar to what we usually do pre-pandemic?
3 holiday zones and Christmas tunnels can be experienced here. First is the Ribbons and Angels Tunnel, followed by Candyland, which is full of gingerbread, candy canes, and lollipops. Before reaching the next zone, you have to go through the Rainbow Tunnel and then Santa's Toy Factory. You also have to pass through a tunnel filled with snowflakes, penguins, and snowmen before reaching their winter wonderland. Lastly, mall goers will reach the Christmas Village, where magical mascots can be seen. It's no wonder why families were already seen trying out the new attraction.
First time maka-experience ng ganito, drive-thru.
This family, for one, even came all the way from Tarlac.
Nagandahan talaga kami, kaya pumunta kami pamilya. Bago kami umuwi ng Tarlac, dumaan muna kami.
The drive-thru has no entrance fee, as long as visitors can show a receipt worth 2,000 pesos from any store inside the MOA complex. The mall also assured that the drive-thru was safe for visitors. Visitors are given 1 minute to take photos of the installations, but they're not allowed to get out of their cars.
It's so safe because it's outdoors na, and you're inside your own vehicle. You're not with anybody else.
The drive-thru is open from 5:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. until January 2, 2022. For News 5, Laila Pangilinan, we are One News.
Let's take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Health Department has found 5 of the 7 travelers who arrived from South Africa. These individuals are part of the 253 inbound travelers that are being monitored for the Omicron COVID variant. The IATF has elevated Portugal to red list category. Passengers who have been to Portugal within 14 days prior to arrival will not be allowed to enter the country starting December 15. Repatriated OFWs are exempted from this and will still be allowed to enter the Philippines. The IATF has raised the annual deployment cap for health workers from 6,500 back in June to 7,000. Acting presidential spokesperson Carlo Nograles said nurses whose visas will expire by December 31 this year will be prioritized. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.